Got it.
It started with this. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, or wherever you are. Is it good night? I don't think so. So thank you for tuning in for our 16th episode. I'm saying it with a French accent, like my friend will point it out. My lovely co-host. So if you are listening to us for the 16th time, welcome back. If you're listening to us for the first time, welcome. This is the Divine Mess, where we teach you maybe through our divine downloads or whatever we listen during the week or what we have learned over the years, how to navigate through the divine mess, like we like to call it, or Tina's lovely said it like the divine shit, right? Is it Tin? Like she mentioned just before the recording. Oh my God. What? Please put the children away. It's not for them to listen to, right?
Not exactly. It depends on the age, right? I don't think it's ever too early to start, because let's face it, our children are far more spiritually in tune than we are as adults, because we've had all the filters installed in our brain. But anyway, my friend forgot to introduce himself.
Did I? Was it done on purpose? Oh, it was not.
Oh,
This is what the divine mess is about,
It
my
is the
friends,
divine mess.
because it's raw, unedited, and that's how we like to introduce ourselves. So if you're looking for like the normal, like formatted way, please, you can stop the recording right now. Stop listening right now, I would say. So I'm Kirti Deva Perman, also known as Deva. I'm the founder and CEO of the Heroes Mystic. It's a holistic life coaching where we help people to find their inner heroes, navigate through the divine mess as well, and embrace the divine masculine and feminine energy, where my lovely co-host, she dives in more with a feminine energy. But at times she tap in the divine masculine, or with her memes or her funny like reels that she will send, but that's all the fun about. So today's we are continuing our C series.
Yes, sir.
And I will leave that to Tina to have a divine download, maybe. Because she will go on channeling again, maybe. About
let's see what comes for this 16th episode. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, how are you? My name is Tina Marie, and like my friend, I have my own coaching business. We are Dharmas & Co. I'm a love coach, because you know what? Most of us forget how to unconditionally love ourselves, love the people that we are with, and love what we do. No one wants to be on the hamster wheel and going around and around and around, and with no divine purpose in mind whatsoever. So as my good friend loves to teach about divine masculine, I love to help women, not to the exclusivity of men, but help women find their divine feminine, move out of a wounded masculine space, and embrace the power that comes with being divinely feminine. Doesn't mean you're wearing flowy skirts and lots of bangles and looking like a boho hippie chick. If you do choose to, that's fine. However, if you choose to dress in power suits, doesn't mean that you cannot embrace that divine feminine energy and get exactly what you want, but in the nicest possible way. So our 16th episode today, we are going to be talking about connection and community. So talking about the family, I believe, of our choosing, and how important it is to our longevity, to our mental health, to feeling loved and supported for the crazy, weird, unique individuals that we are, and how we can go about navigating the divine mess together with people that love and appreciate us. Like my co-host loves and appreciates my crazy Netflix special of a life and all of the things that I move through on a daily basis. And we are ever so grateful to have been magnetically drawn to each other almost 2 years ago, coming up now, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a joy. It's an absolute joy when you find people who see through all your bullshit and they go, oh, that light's really special. Can you just turn it up a little bit more of a notch and a little bit more and a little bit more? And it's through their persistent, pure love that you start to recognize it within yourself. Even on the days where you feel like you've got a black cloud hanging over your head, they're the ones that say, as he does. Dial the light up just a little bit more and a little bit more, because it's not, as David has spoken on a couple of podcasts before, it's not our darkness that scares us, it's our light. And it's being afraid to show our uniqueness and our special abilities, no matter what they happen to be. No one wants to reveal themselves. No one wants to be vulnerable. No one wants to share their unique gifts and talents for the fear that other people are not going to embrace them wholeheartedly and go, oh, you can do that. Have a guess what I can do. You know, you give people wild permission to share their own ability when you have lowered your guard just a fraction, and maybe a fraction more, so that you can be loved for who you are. It's the simplest and the easiest, but the hardest thing, I think, to do when we meet other people is, how much can I share about myself? How much am I willing to dip my toe into the water of exposure? You know, how naked am I willing to be with somebody else? And I'm not talking romantic and any of that. I'm talking from an emotional and a mental and a spiritual space as to how many layers do I pull away and allow this person to see me truly. And then, you know, we give thanks for those that allow us to be our weird, you know, crazy selves. And they go, oh, yeah, that's just her. So, oh, yeah, that's just him. So that's kind of my thought. But I was watching a Netflix special. And of course, I get very excited when I watch things that light me up and turn me on, so to speak, about longevity. And it said that when we have a community of like-minded souls around us, we can increase our life expectancy up to an additional 15 years. And dealing with aging parents at the moment and seeing the difference between those that were not actively involved in community friendships or having a second go at love, you know, once, you know, if the first time around it didn't go so crash up, or even the second time if it wasn't so good, be willing enough to perhaps have a third go at inviting somebody into your life, because it gives you a reason and a purpose for waking up in the morning, for, hey, love, would you like a cup of coffee? Or can I make you a cup of tea? Or you have a purpose to keep moving. Because sometimes being intrinsically motivated to get up, go to the gym or go to your local community centre, volunteer, do all of it, takes a lot to get up and get started. But if there's someone there next to you who inspires you and motivates you to get up and get your nearly 50-year-old butt moving, it's a good thing. So we would love to know how you feel about the family of your choosing. because sometimes the family that we have been birthed into doesn't necessarily fit after a while. You know, they think differently, they move differently, they eat differently, they don't understand a spiritual journey and what that can look like. And then once you're aware and awake, your ability to see things for what they are, you can see ego from a mile away. You can see when people are deflecting, when they're not dealing with their own shiz. It's nice to find your own little family and bring them in and know that you can ring them at 2:00 in the morning going, I'm having a crisis. Can you help me out here? And know that they're going to pick up, you know, and they know from the opposite side that you would do exactly the same thing for them. You know, if need be, jump on an aeroplane, do whatever you needed to do if they felt that they couldn't maneuver through something. You know, I think that's what true family does for one another. Would you not say, Mr. Dever?
Yeah, and they will jump out of the plane as well, you know, like skydiving. I'm just for your family, you know, that's for our family, and I love that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because we are family, you know, like we are soul family, and
Yes.
we found like this is how the universe works. Like it's magic, like without expecting anything. But
Yes.
once you start working on yourself, you know who you want in your community, because that involves your family, like you're talking about, your friends, and maybe acquaintances or networking, and
Yes.
all of that matters, and it's part of your world. Like, and we all know how your environment can either elevate you or drains you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about like asking yourself, is that person elevating me, helping me find joy, or is it like only draining and draining and draining? And I think like people struggle the most to let go of the family members, maybe,
Or
who like they,
friends.
or friends who they respect, like they have a high level of respect, but it's not the same for the other person. And that's the hardest to let go of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel that you said so many things about community and connection. And for me, when I was reading about the aging, sorry, we were discussing that before the recording. And I remember like there was one episode from the limited series called Limitless by Chris Hemsworth. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix or Amazon or something. And the last episode, it was about a rest home where you see everyone having fun, and like it's all in the mind. But for me, I don't need to go outside to see that, because I see that every day with my parents.
Yeah.
And I know in nearly every single episode I speak about them, because my parents, I'm not going to say the age because mom won't like that. She liked to think she's 40. So let's go with that. And
she's 40 plus a bit of attitude. How's that?
Yeah, that's better, but it's more like she has a 10-year-old attitude in terms of fun. And that's what
Perfect.
I learned from my parents. Because my dad, like, if you see them dancing, and everyone in my family knows that, if you go to a party, my parents will be the first one on the dance floor. And there's no, even like we went to hotels, you know, like in Mauritius, where every night, like they will have like those dance teaches you how to dance the Sega, for example, for tourists, or all of that. But my parents will be like learning, like it's the first time ever. And they will be dancing like, it's like, well, my mom will complain the next day that her ankle or knees hurting. But in that moment, it's not.
No,
And
because it's the joy and the bliss and the fun and the excitement, and you know, you're dancing with the person that you love, and you know, and even if it's the first time you're getting up and you're dancing with somebody that you don't know, you know,
Yeah.
there's the unexpectedness of it all, and the fun and the adventure, I think,
Yeah.
that
And
comes
they're
from learning
still
something new.
like, for me, it's like they're still having that mindset of being young, of feeling young. It's not of being, it's not only the mindset, it's that feeling of feeling young. Like no way you can tell, anyone can tell my parents that you're 40 plus. Like in their mind, it's not even possible, irrespective of the body aches or whatever their body is telling them, because they know, and their body shift constantly keep up with that, because it's
Yeah.
their spirit, it's that inner child. And I think it comes from my grandparents as well. Like my grandfather, for example, he's 94, but he used to ride his bike, who is older than me. The bike is older than me, for nearly like until he was like 80 or something. And he still ride that bike, and he wouldn't sit still. If you tell him like not to go to the market because he liked to buy his vegetable, and it's quite famous, like in Mauritius, on a Saturday, or depending where you stay, on a Wednesday or Saturday, you will go to the food market, right? And you will buy his veggies, and he knows where to go. He know where to go. So it's like, for him, it's his community, and it's how he connect with people.
Yeah.
Because he has been buying the veggies, for example, for, I don't know, like 40 years plus. And
Yeah.
he knows those vendors, you know, like the one selling the veggies, and he knows them. And it's like they have that connection, and it is part of his community.
It's almost
And
like when you go to the favorite coffee shop, isn't it? And they know
yes,
your coffee. And
yeah,
do you want it in a regular size, or would you like it
yeah,
in a small size today? And it's
yeah.
like,
And
well,
it's first name basis, right?
correct.
It's like, it's first name. They will know your kids, they will know your grandkids or whatever. It's like they know the whole family history for some of them. But that's how you connect with someone, I feel, through common interests as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not in the
It's
mind,
interesting, isn't it?
and in your spirit, you know, like it come from the spirit. Because I was reading that book that I bought this week. It's about I think I bought all the book about channeling this week. It's channeling from like Council of Light or something. It's about the fifth dimension.
Yeah.
That's another topic for another day, but just saying.
No.
But it's they say, like, in this message, what I find interesting is like, how do you want to shift? They all say it's simple. Find joy. Find joy in everything you do. You like to have coffee with someone special, go and have it. That's part of your ascension, or spiritual ascension we're talking about. But for me, it's like going back to that light. Don't complicate the term. It's like going back to that light, going back to the love, your true self, your true light. And that's how you connect. You want to connect with people, connect with yourself, connect with within you, but find little joys in your life, you know, look for the little things. Doesn't mean that you need to sit on your meditation mat for 20 minutes or 1 hour. And that's how you will find, yeah, you can find joy within that, but it takes time. But like you were saying, it's like going, maybe find a yoga class or a meditation class to start with. You know, like you were talking about the gym.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the running club, you know, like when you don't like running and you start with the club. And
And I
that's
tell you what, it makes such a difference to
because you
have
see,
people
yeah,
there with you, even if they're running, you know, 100 meters in front of you, or they're running 100 meters behind you. It's more about, I'm not alone on my journey. There are people here with me who are like-minded, who like to do these things with me. But it was interesting talking about connection and community, because Mel Robbins, I listened to a podcast of hers recently where she moved to a new town, and she thought for the first 12 months, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I should have stayed where I was. I hate living here. But she pushed herself to go and do something that was out of her comfort zone, And she said she chose a coffee shop in the local town, and she just went and she sat and she observed people, and she watched them, the same people coming in. And when she felt a certain attraction to someone and they sat down or they sat down near her, she endeavored to strike up a conversation to get to know them, to go, oh, that looks like an interesting book. Can you tell me about it? Find something, whether it's the glasses they're wearing, the clothes they've got on, the book they're reading, the laptop they're using. Use any one of those things or 10,000 other things, color of your hair, great eyes, whatever it is, to strike up a conversation. And then say, I'm thinking about coming on Saturdays. Would you like to meet me for a coffee on Saturday? Because I've just moved to town and, I'd like to meet some more people. And then she recommended taking a photo with that person and putting it straight in your phone, so that then you have a point of connection with someone within the community. And she said over like a 3 or a 6 month period, she ended up with this group of women that she would meet every Saturday, and they would go and have coffee. And she said, and that's how I started to feel better about who I was, where I was, what I was doing, and that I didn't feel so alone in the whole process of living in this very beautiful part of the world. But, if you choose to isolate yourself, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're not sharing that purest version of yourself. You're not sharing the love. We're all designed to share it. But if you choose to be selfish and you choose to keep it to yourself, then you're not living up to your purpose by being out and being in the world. And it doesn't matter whether you're 18, whether you're in your 30s, whether you're in your 60s, and you still don't know what your purpose is, it's irrespective. You still need to keep getting up and going out and seeking the connection and the community, because eventually your purpose it's probably slapped you up the backside of the head, but you've chosen to ignore it for quite some time. It'll come out, and then you'll go, so that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah. And I like what you said about the selfishness, because in the book that I'm reading as well, it tells you, like, when you're going to meditate and go within and find your light, you actually helping every single person in the world to find their light. Mm-hmm. In a way. So when you're going, they even go further. Like when you're choosing to take care of yourself and finding that community or connection, you are actually taking care of the world. So when you're feeling like demotivated, just tell yourself, oh, I'm going to do it like for humanity. I'm going to do it for my country. Because just imagine yourself. I take myself as an example, like this morning, because I had a back pain still, like while swimming, right? And I was like, just in that moment, let's say I was in the Olympic representing Mauritius, right? What would I have done? Like, would I have stopped and say, oh, it's hurting, like in the middle of the pool, would I have stopped? That would be weird, right? But it's just an example, right? It might sound weird or stupid, but for me in that moment, it really pushed myself in a way. But I felt good after that. And magically, like, the back pain disappeared because I was not carrying the weight anymore. And that's a deeper meaning as well. Because I find my community in terms of my Mauritian culture and say, this is for the country. And that brought me to a higher purpose, which gave me that connection back to my Mauritian heritage and also to the humanity in a way. But in every activity, like sometimes we all do that. Like we all, at one point in our life, we feel that, oh, I'm alone. Or I remember back when I was in my teenage years, I would feel like I'm awkward or weird because I don't like the same thing like people like. But I didn't find my community until later.
Mm.
But it started with working on myself, finding that light, like we used to talk about,
Mhm.
and accepting that, finding to go out. Like I recently learned about, there's a theory called the disjointed learning theory,
Okay.
which means like when you learn from different sources about one topic, you're most likely to find your own theory about it, and you won't be limited anymore. And that's exactly what it tells in the theory. Is like, let's say you like coffee, but it's about trying different types of coffee as well to
Mhm.
find one you really like. So
Mhm.
if you like a coffee shop, it's like about going out in different type of coffee shop where you will end up most likely meet different kind of people. And that
Yep.
will give you the connection and realize that at the core, we are all connected.
Yes.
We are
Yes,
all
because
connected.
you're connected with that one.
Mm.
Everybody's looking for that sacred moment when they have a really good cup of coffee. It's the same if you are a cheese lover and you're looking for the perfect brie or camembert or those hideous blue vein cheeses, but we won't go into that. A Frenchman will not love me for saying that. Or, you're a wine connoisseur and you're looking for the perfect Pinot Noir, or, you are a triathlete and you're looking for the best bike that's going to give you the best advantage, and whatever your area of expertise is, we're all searching for that sheer moment of perfection. And I think it's when we achieve that heightened state of joy and love, where you've just taken that first mouthful of a dinner or a coffee or a glass of wine or pure water straight out of the stream. It's just like one of those divine moments in this messy life that we have, where you just go, oh, I found it. It's utopia. I found the perfect, everything has all come together at once to create a perfect moment. It's like when you meet your soul family, like David says, whether they be in a romantic sense, whether they be in a friendship sense, whether they be your accountability buddies for running, whatever it happens to be, it's just like, I've arrived and these people get me.
And it feels strange at the start, right? It feels like, oh, there's another one who think like me or feel like me, or think exactly like
I
I
found
wanted to
where's
think.
Wally, and I'm not the only one in the stripy jumper.
It's like find those weird things, but it's like because at the core we're also social beings. Like
Yeah.
COVID taught us that during the lockdown, people find ways to stay connected with each other.
Yep.
We created communities out of it.
Yes.
There were new passion created, new like ways of connecting with others. Like people created like apps to connect, or software were getting out there.
Yeah.
Maybe like I remember, I think it was in Italy, like there was one guy from one apartment opposite, they were doing like yoga or something, fitness in the morning, and he was teaching every single one in the opposite building to do the same. And they started creating a community of fitness during lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that amazing,
Yeah. Or
that
sharing a
people,
love of music, or, someone
yeah,
to bring their record player out on the balcony and, play beautiful music, or, they'd bring out their guitar and someone would bring something else out and, have a jam session. it's how you go about, it's having courage. There's another C word for you. It's having the courage to put yourself out there, to say, hi, this is who I am. These are the things I like. Do you like them too? You know, much like when you were 5 in the playground and going, will you be my friend?
Yeah.
You know,
it's about telling yourself, it's about challenging yourself to have the courage and not be the coward. See words.
See.
It's C words today.
Well, it is all of those things. And I think as we get older, we get more stuck in our ways, and we feel less inclined to reach out to say, you know, or you know that there's a bit missing somewhere, that there's something else you're meant to do, or someone else you're meant to connect. You're constantly seeking, and you don't know what you're seeking, but you're seeking. And eventually, when you meet the people that are meant to be part of your family in this lifetime, irrespective of blood relation, then things just, you kind of become part of the flow of the universe, right? Just things start to fall into place, and things become a little bit more effortless when you've got those people that, even though we do have all of these lovely spiritual people that are having our back, you know, our guardian angels and our spirit family, and, you know, however you choose to look at it, we need earth angels too, right? We need people that are earthbound, that are here to help us awaken to who we truly are, and to our purpose, and to what it is that we're meant to do, irrespective of what our chosen career is. There's always more to it, but these people are earthside to help us find what that purpose is, and to keep moving through life, I think, in a more aligned way is probably a good word for it, in going, okay, right, this is who I need to help, or this is what I need to do, or your purpose might not come, you know, you're going to do what you need to do, but it may not come until you maybe have children, or maybe your children have children, and then all of a sudden you get this moment of, so that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help navigate and guide and mentor this generation of people. But you know what? I did read a post the other day that said, if you have gifts and talents, if you have this unconscious ability to be able to do something, and you don't share it with the world, not only are you denying yourself, your true self, but you're denying the world of the brilliance, you know, the light, the love, and all of it that comes, and just the sheer satisfaction of being able to be in service to other people. It does. It makes your soul feel really good when you can be in service of other people. So I think it's a good question for people to ask themselves today, and going, how can I connect? How can I be of service? How can I love myself more? And how can I love others more, irrespective of whether I think that they're good, bad, or indifferent? It's not your place to judge. It's your place to see the light within them. That is your role, because they are an accurate reflection of who you are. My friend is an accurate reflection of me, and I am an accurate reflection of him. So that's what it's about, is that we hold these mirrors up and going, maybe you haven't looked at that bit yet.
Yeah, we often do that. And for people out there who are listening and saying, well, maybe you find your soul tribe or your soul family or your community, but I don't know where to start. I don't know where to look or where to go and whom to speak to. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I would suggest like start with your passion, like look into your interests, if you're like running or even walking in nature or being at the beach or reading a book like you were talking. There are many clubs now. There are many
Mm.
websites as well where you have like there's one here called Meetup, and there are many groups, many like passion different, some like you wouldn't think of, and they have regular meetings on maybe on Zoom, and it's like you said, having the courage to challenge yourself, to
And
go out there because
speaking of challenges, though,
mm,
maybe we should mention the challenge that we're going to put out to everybody.
oh yes,
So if you can't, won't, don't, any of those words, feel unable to find a community of like-minded souls, then perhaps you may wish to join the Divine Mess 30-day challenge. It is something Dave and I have been working on in the background. So if you are looking for community, we are just kind of finishing touches on it. I think by our next episode, we will have a little Facebook community that people can join other like-minded souls. We will have a 30 days of meditation on 29 areas of life with a celebration on the 30th day. So there's another C word for you.
29
And
meditation. Tina is recording, just saying.
yeah. And also there will be a Divine Mess 30-day challenge journal for you to record your thoughts, record your downloads, and also give you the ability to connect to other people who are walking their spiritual journey, whether they are on day 1 or day 10,000 or day 10. It makes no difference. You know, we are here to assist and to give you some tools and some tips and a way of connecting with others, irrespective of where you are in this big, bright, beautiful world. So keep an eye out, because we will put it up on our socials once it's ready to go. And I think it will be a small investment that will produce large benefits for yourself and for the people that are around you, because once you start the journey, the ripple effect is real.
Because our goal is to create that ripple effect of kindness and having the courage to be yourself and tapping in to the masculine and feminine energies as well. So that's what partly the 30-day challenge will be about. It's about tapping in those areas where you don't want to go. But it's like how to navigate through life with small tips maybe, and appreciating yourself through your journey where you have come from.
Reflection, self-care, intuition.
It's everything what we learn over the years.
Condensed. There's another word for you.
Tina is inspired today with this word.
Condensed in a nice 30-day package, but I think it's a kickstart, whether you're moving into summer like we are in the southern half of the world, or whether you're moving into that time of incubation and integration and embodiment, which is probably also a very good time to start having a look at where you're at in your journey, because it obviously being a cyclic thing that we uncover layer upon layer upon layer. So whether you're, you know, a deeply spiritual person, a 30-day assessment. You know, when we talk about KPIs in business and we're looking at, you know, are we a good leader? Are we a good manager? You know, have I met my budgets and my targets and my goals for where I'm at? Not very often do we do personal reflection on, could I be a better partner? Could I be a better parent? Could I be a better friend? Could I be kinder to the person that stares at me in the mirror every day of my life? Could I speak more kindly? Could I look upon them more kindly? Could I look upon them with unconditional love? Now that's a hard one. Could I look and just go, you are, this container is amazing and it's brilliant and it's got me this far. How could I be more kind to the container that holds my soul, that holds my spirit, that, like David said, is part of this whole collective consciousness that is going on? Self-reflection is a good thing because it puts light on the things that we avoid, that we don't want to look at, that can be confronting and confusing at the same time. So challenging ourselves to be vulnerable and open and look at all the corners, whether they have windows or not, and shine a little bit of light, light a candle, hold a torch, ask the community to hold you accountable, to accept that we all need to keep growing. It's about evolution. It's about becoming the best versions that we can possibly be this time around, because if we learn the lessons that we have been put here to learn in this lifetime, maybe we get a go at learning something different the next time around.
Yeah. And
So,
once you learn to connect within yourself, and that's part of the 30-day challenge, that's where you will find your community that will help you to elevate, and the ripple effect in the world, like helping everyone else. That in the spiritual world right now, it's being called the awakened collective consciousness.
yeah.
And this is like the new term that's coming out, the fifth dimension. It's all about moving, elevating. At the end of the day, it's elevating and connecting with you. And that community, that spiritual community, is coming together, I feel, and we are helping each other to grow, to elevate. Because if you're just helping yourself, like you said, just helping yourself, what I mean is, like, you're not showing up for the world. You're not showing up for your light. You're always complaining, another C word, right? You're always finding like problems where there are opportunities.
Yeah.
And we as human, yes, we can have those moments of like being negative, but it's about catching ourselves and saying, no, we can shift into our real self. We can shift. And that's where your community will help you, because they will remind you of who you truly are. If your community around you right now is putting you down, well, maybe it's time to take a good look and just say enough is enough and just move out.
Yep. Just having courage to recognize it, that you are the smartest person in the room. And when you become the smartest person in the room, it's time to find a new room and new people. So have some courage, put on your big girl or your big boy pants, and step into your next level version. You know, try some new things on for size. Go try something different on, go try a new type of exercise. Go look in your community at the events section and go, what can we go and do that we wouldn't normally do? Where could we go? Somewhere different. Let's travel somewhere outside. Go and experience something different. Try a new church, like if you're a regular churchgoer, try a new church. Try something different. Try a different perspective, so that then when you come back to look at your first world problems, that we are just insurmountable, and we don't have the answers to fix or solve it, you can come back and go, oh, it's not as dark or as ugly or as awful as we thought it was. That it's all here to teach us something. We just have to be willing to see it for what it is. It's an expression of where we're at in time. And you wouldn't be getting the challenges if you weren't ready to face them. If you didn't have the skill set and the ability to deal with it. And if you feel you don't, then you reach out to, like, I reach out to this glorious human who does this with me every week and go, what the actual, seriously, I'm calling for help and I'm getting none. What's going on? Yeah. I'm talking into my cards every day, or I'm talking into my journal, or I'm talking to my grandmother when I'm driving my car every day and going, what actually do you need me to do today? Could you be a little bit more clear, a little bit concise in the things that you're asking me to do? And then you kind of have those, right, those moments where it does become crystal clear that this is what we're meant to be doing today. So,
and what I noticed with us, sorry to cut you off. I know you.
No, you're fine. I'm done. I'm loving my dogs because they're telling me it's time that I need to get
walk
my ass out the door. Yes.
And it's before you go. It's
Always.
about I remind our conversation, right? Every time we ask each other, how are you?
Yeah.
It's not like anyone else is asking you, how are you? If I say I'm fine, Tina will be like, how are you? And it's like that emphasis on maybe the question or something, but it's about the energy.
Yeah.
And Tina will know, or I will know when she's saying, oh, I'm fine. Or I will be like, just looking and just saying, really?
There's a Netflix special that's waiting to come out and I have yet to reveal it.
Yeah, it's like in production or something. That's where where you find the right connection or community.
Yeah, because they care.
When they're asking you that, how are you? It's not like everyone else is asking. And that can be a simple question because it's so common, like to say, I'm fine. And sometimes it's like you're telling the people, like, do you really want to know? Are you sure? Are you up for it? Are you ready to listen to?
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on.
Do you have space to listen to? And
Yes.
ask yourself, if your community has space, have the energy to listen to.
Yep.
I think on that note, since your dog is like saying, oh, mom, it's time to go.
I know it's raining outside, but could we please go for a walk?
And find his community.
And find their community so they can have a chat and a sniff and a scratch and all the rest of it. Maybe a dog treat on the walk. So, well, my gorgeous friend, as always, it's such a pleasure to chat with you on a Tuesday and share and listen to your wisdom and elaborate. There is another C word for you. And bring the divine mess to our divine friends and divine community.
Yeah.
And we look forward to having you jump on board to the 30-day challenge,
Mhm.
and to see where it can take you, and to see your lights becoming brighter and infusing more love and energy into your own communities, you know, and sharing the love.
Mhm. And also riding the wave together.
Yay.
And
It's almost summer.
it is. And Tina is like getting ready for her swim, right? And for bungee jumping and skydiving, just saying.
And taking you to the nail salon and all the stuff.
Yeah, that's what you do for family, right?
Always.
Which I
Always.
won't do. Never, ever. Just saying.
And on that note, gorgeous humans, we love you and we think you're amazing, and we are so grateful for you tuning in and sharing your precious time with us on a weekly basis. And until next week, go out and be amazing.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for tuning in, and like Tina said, for listening. I would like to challenge you on everyone listening is like sometimes like when something bad is happening or negative is pulling you down, just breathe in, take a moment, and choose any one of our episode and tune in wherever it lands you. It's where you're supposed to listen to. That's why we don't have a formatted, it's raw, unedited, because we believe that at any point in time, you're meant to listen to this part of the episode, which is meant for you. There's so many nuggets that Tina, or maybe I'm sure
And you, golden nuggets all the time, come out with.
Every time, like we have all those golden nuggets every single episode. I would suggest like close your eyes. It's just like opening a book at any page. Open any episode, listen to it. Wherever the slider, like like you slide it to a certain minute, maybe 11:11, and that will bring the message.
That you need.
So on that note, enjoy your connection for this week and finding new communities, and welcome to the Divine Mess community as well. So thank you.
Much love. See you soon.